The NBA is a sport of skill, not the least of which is having the skill to go out and put the ball in the hoop. And while sometimes that's done through shooting, jumping also works. In fact, there are so many in the history of the league who are not just good at jumping, but great at it. So much so that their vertical leaps are legendary. So, allow us to show you the top 10 highest vertical jumpers in the NBA ever. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel.
Just a reminder about our new giveaway. We're giving away the new iPad Pro or the new iMac Pro. The choice is yours. All you have to do is watch the full video, leave a like, comment the keyword hidden in the video, and make sure you're subscribed. It's that simple.
Number 10, Shannon Brown at 44.5 inches. Shannon Brown may not have been the greatest player to ever play for the Lakers. He was key to their runs in their 2000s decade when they won back-to-back titles. To be clear, Shannon Brown was a key factor for that, and he really did help contribute to them winning. Some would even argue that his best playing days were during those 2 title runs he was a part of, which shows a lot, including him being able to go and play when the spotlights were the brightest and when his team needed him the most. Plus, like certain other players we'll talk about later, he wasn't just a dunker, he was a shot blocker because he could get so high into the air, which obviously made him even more valuable because when you can block shots on the regular, it helps your team out in many ways. There is an irony to his 44.5 inches of jumping ability though. You see, when he did the All-Star Weekend's dunk contest, he didn't make it out of the first round, which is not what you'd expect from a man of that talent, proving that sometimes height doesn't always equal skill in other measures. That doesn't mean his career was a bust though, far from it. He was really good at what he did, and that's what matters. Number 9, Zion Williamson, 45 inches. There are times when players get you hyped before they even step onto the court in the NBA, and Zion Williamson was definitely one of those players. Zion Williamson made an impression thanks to his high school games being shown on the internet. The hype he had when he went to Duke was insane, and yet well-deserved, as he was a dominant force on the court, due in part to his 45-inch vertical that helped him dunk all over the literal country, and make Duke, once again, a force to be reckoned with. Here's the twist, though, that many don't know. When he was working on his game, after his growth spurt that made him really tall, his jumping skills weren't the best. For real. So, to get around that, he spent a whole summer trying to get the hops he needed. It worked, and the rest went about how you would expect. Admittedly, his rookie season wasn't the best due to injuries, low minutes on the court, and the pandemic. But given the bursts that he had when he did play, the Pelicans have something to look forward to for sure when the next season arrives. Number 8, Spud Webb, 46 inches. Spud Webb is an anomaly when it comes to jumping high. Just take a look at him. No, really, go ahead. The man before you was the 3rd shortest player to ever play in the NBA. Yeah, he really is that small in comparison to the big guys around him. And because of that, you would believe erroneously that his skill wouldn't match up with the titans he's playing with. Yet Spud Webb took those expectations and literally dunked all over them via a 46-inch vertical leap. He was never afraid to dive through people and then take it to the rim in a way that would literally stun people. His dunking ability was the stuff of legends. Don't believe us? He went to the dunk contest and played against fellow teammate Dominique Wilkins, and he won with 2 perfect 50-point dunks. Wilkins was no slouch, to be clear, when it came to dunking, but Spud Webb beat him, showing once and for all that size doesn't matter if your skills can back it up. Number 7, Derrick Jones Jr., 46 inches. The Miami Heat are a surprising force in the NBA right now. They're currently playing in the Eastern Conference Finals, something no one expected when the season started. One of the reasons for this is their young talent mixing well with veterans to show both energy and experience when needed. When it comes to the players who have the jumping ability to get stuff done, that would be Derrick Jones Jr., who has an astounding 46 inches, which he has used to put on a literal highlight reel for people all over, including when he went to the 2020 dunk contest and won it. And right now, the Heat will need every dunk and point they can get if they want to make it to the NBA Finals. Number 6, Zach LaVine, 46 inches. Zach LaVine has been in the NBA for a while, and with his 46 inches of jumping power, he's put on a show for many, including the Timberwolves and the Chicago Bulls when he was on their teams. Without a doubt, the reason that most people know Zach LaVine is because of his time in the dunk contest, which he won not once, but twice. In fact, his match against Aaron Gordon in one of the said dunk contests is believed to be the literal greatest one of all time, depending on who you ask. The only one said to have been better was the one Michael Jordan was in. That's some classy company. Whether LaVine truly makes an impact beyond his dunking is still up in the air, pun intended, but he definitely has a shot. Number 5, James White, 46 inches. James White is a tale of a man who could dunk, but didn't have the rest of the skills needed to go and make a bigger impact on his team. Like many stars before him, his college skills just didn't translate overall when he got into the intense level of the NBA. White was more of a sizzle player, known for his dunks and highlight reel leaps, which is fine, but that doesn't always help win games. Don't feel too badly for him though. When the NBA time was over, he, like many before him, went overseas to play basketball, and he honestly had success there. Number 4, Jason Richardson, 46.5 inches. Jason Richardson is hailed in many ways for his skill on the court and being able to help many teams to victory. He honestly was the most athletic player in the NBA in the early 2000s. He helped the Warriors and helped the Suns when he played on their teams, further cementing his legacy. And with his 46.5-inch vertical leap, he won the 2002 and 2003 dunk contests, the first player since Jordan to do it back-to-back. So yeah, we should pay respect to Richardson because he delivered when asked to. Number 3, Dennis Smith Jr., 48 inches. The New York Knicks right now are one of the worst teams in any sports league. But one bright spot on their team is Dennis Smith Jr., who was not only the league leader in vertical via being able to jump 48 inches into the air, but tied for one of the best leaps ever. And yet, when he went to the dunk contest, he lost in the first round. Didn't we already have that happen? Number 2, Darrell Griffith, 48 inches. A somewhat forgotten player of the 80s, Darrell Griffith was a legend in the Utah Jazz and was even Rookie of the Year in 1981. He was so good at dunking that he was called Dr. Dunkenstein and was part of a great 1-2 punch that led the Jazz to success in the league. So why don't you hear more about him? That's because while he started out his career red hot and got a lot of fame for his skills, injuries slowly derailed him. Still, he is honored by the Utah Jazz to this day. Number 1, Michael Jordan, 48 inches. And now, let's talk about Michael Jordan. No, Air Jordan. Because yes, while there are 3 men who have jumped 48 inches into the air, the man who did it the best with those skills was none other than Michael Jordan. We could spend a whole list breaking down his accolades and how each play he did in the air was special, but you can just look up highlight reels for that. But in truth, his 48 inches of incredible vertical leaping made him a force in college and in the pros. He was able to jump so high, he could block shots in motion and then hit the backboard because he got up that high. And of course, his time in the slam dunk contest was legendary and proving that he was willing to try and do a lot during those events. He could jump and dunk from the free throw line. He could cradle the ball and do a dance before dunking. Jordan did it all. And that's Marvin Martian correctly referred to Jordan as Sir Altitude because he was the king of the Space Jam. So, what did you think? What did you think of these NBA players, both past and present, who have shown to have the mad hops needed to go and make themselves a force in the NBA? Which of these players is your favorite in terms of how good they were in their jumping? Do you think that anyone will be able to go and jump higher than 48 inches one day? Let us know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you next time on the channel.